My camerawoman really wants to know how a female can get into MMA. Do you just walk into a class? Do you have to come from a martial art background to begin with?
How I got into it, or
And advice.
okay.
And then some advice.
I actually just randomly went to an MMA show. I didn't even really know what MMA was, and the announcer asked if any girls wanted to grapple. Lisa Ellis, she was a guest judge there, and I raised my hand, and I was the only girl that raised my hand in the crowd, and so then I went down there and put my hair up and wrestled her in jeans and got my ass kicked. And someone came up to me afterwards and they were like, "You look kind of tough, come to my gym." And so then I started going to their gym, and I took my first fight after that. But I think just starting to do classes, I think that's a good way. I think a lot of girls, they start like doing a grappling class or a kickboxing class, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I really like this." And then they kind of take the training to the next level. And so I think that's probably a better way to do it than going to an MMA show and wrestling somebody half drunk out of the crowd. That's probably not the greatest idea. But yeah, I think just starting to do classes, and I mean, if it's something you're interested in, like just go and get your feet wet and go to a class and just see what it's like.
So this event, did you have experience grappling at all, or were you just like, "I'll fight"?
I didn't even know what MMA was. I didn't watch the UFC. I had no idea. I was 18, so I mean, this was what, like 9 years ago now. So yeah, I just was invited to the show. I almost didn't go, but then something was like told me to go, and I was kind of always a little bit rowdy growing up. I always wrestled with the boys in I lived in a big apartment complex, and so we were always like being rowdy together in like the field. So I was just always like a rowdy girl growing up, and so I don't know, I didn't even think about not raising my hand. I'm like, of course, why wouldn't I want to get in there and try it, you know? And then apparently I was insane because I was the only girl that raised my hand, and so they were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure."
This is one of the craziest stories I've heard of getting into the sport. What event was this that they wanted fans to participate?
So it was called Club Zoo. It was on a Wednesday night at a bar in Washington. So they had a cage on the dance floor. So super ghetto. Fighters walk through the crowd of people, and so their cornermen are like pushing the people out of the way. Yeah, it was, looking back now, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? It was so bad. But that show actually was kind of a big platform for people in Washington. They had put those shows on for like a couple years, and there was a lot of people from Oregon and Washington both fighting on them. It was just really random. It was on a Wednesday night out of all nights for a fight to be on, yeah.
Does that promotion still exist?
No, it doesn't exist anymore.
Moving on to a different question. We've been asking this to a lot of fighters. What did you make of the Max Holloway news, where as a fellow fighter, when you hear he couldn't wake up, he was slurring his words, he couldn't see, does that freak you out, hearing that that's happened to a champion?
It didn't really freak me out. It made me sad that he wasn't on the card. I was really excited to fight on the same card as Max. I think he's a great fighter. I'm a fan of his. I've actually spent some time around him outside of the fighting world, and so we have a lot of Hawaiians at the gym, and so I was really bummed that Yancey and him are off the card now. I was really excited to fight on the card with those guys. Big fans of them, and so not the concussion thing. That doesn't really bug me so much. It kind of just makes me wonder, like, who the hell is Max sparring with that gave him a concussion like that close? And especially being at that level, you think that you would be a little bit more careful. You don't need as much sparring, more drilling. So I mean, accidents happen, of course. I don't know like the story, what happened behind that. I just hope he gets well, and we see Max Holloway fight another day.
Did you see him at all this week?
I hadn't actually ran into him at all this week.
A lot of people are saying he wasn't acting the same, and you said you knew him outside. I was just curious if...
Yeah, I hadn't seen him, but my head coach, Eric Nixick, had seen him before open workouts with Brad Tavares. Brad's one of my teammates, and Eric said that he had felt that Max was, a little off. But I don't think anyone really wants to say anything if a fighter is off. I think everyone just kind of is maybe leaving it up to like nerves, or I don't know, like just kind of like leaving it alone. It's not really their place to judge. And so I think everyone's just more concerned about his health and just wants to see him get better, because he's a great fighter, and we want to see that fight. We want to see that Brian take a fight with him. So hopefully we can see it again maybe later this year. I think Max should take some time, let his brain heal, and see where we go after that.
Non-UFC 226 related question. After Darren Till beat Stephen Thompson said he wanted to ban kicks to the kneecap, that one that buckles the knee.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I kind of agree. That's kind of just a shit kick. Like, it doesn't, like, the only, like, thing you're getting out of that is maybe possibly blowing their knee out. Like, it's kind of fucked up. Nobody really throws them in the gym. You throw it in the cage, and, like, I mean, yeah, you're out there to fight someone else, but do you really want to have them go through a whole knee replacement. One of my teammates, Tim Elliott, he's going through that right now, and it looks freaking miserable. His knees are sliced both sides, like in the front. Gina Mazzani, she's been telling me about it, his girlfriend, and it just seems awful. I wouldn't want to do that to somebody else. I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. I think it should maybe like go in the same category as 12 to 6 elbows. Like, it's just really a dangerous move, you know?
So you would agree the same for soccer kicks and foot stomps, right?
Foot stomps, I don't see a problem with foot stomps. I mean, the foot swells up. I don't know anybody that's had their whole foot shattered from a foot stomp. They're just kind of more annoying. A soccer kick, I wouldn't mind throwing a soccer kick, but I wouldn't want a soccer kick thrown on me. But so I don't know about those two. I mean, they're illegal. Or not. The soccer kicks are illegal. Foot stomps, I haven't really foot stomped. You don't really foot stomp in the gym again because it's just kind of a dick move. It's annoying. It doesn't really hurt. So I don't really know about those ones.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.